my movement side was growing so much at one point, actually in 2021.
Right.
Because I was doing a lot more. Manike Mange Hita was also released at the same time. My video Pratihari was also going viral at the same time. And I was teaching, and it was growing a lot, and I felt this level of life in that, where, it just aligns. And it comes so naturally to you that you're not trying hard. You're not pretending. You're just being yourself, and it's working. And it's also impacting people's lives. I left the job saying I will be back in 2 years.
Right.
I left saying...
That panned out well.
I left saying, it's just 2 years, Rangi. You just go, you do what you have to do, and then you come back. Because when you have to have your art, have your creative expression, and also make money through it, that's a lot of pressure. And also it comes with a lot of emotion. You're hurt more, you're happy, like the level of emotions you feel is a bit more heightened. So and the lows are low, the highs are high.
Of course, and there's a greater pressure on you to constantly be creative,
Correct.
to put out creative work, right?
So it's like you no longer have the liberty of doing it for the sake of doing
Exactly.
it.
Now it's your lifestyle.
It's your lifestyle, and it's where you earn your bread and butter.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
So.
Welcome back to Power Moves. Today is a very exciting episode because we are stepping into a realm that connects the mind, the body, and of course, the soul through movement, through dance. Before we dive in, let me ask you a quick question. What is your creative outlet when life gets stressful after a very hard day at work? For some, it might be music, others it's drawing, or it could even be penning down a poem. But for most people, it's dance, it's movement. And that is a language that helps us to process emotions and to reconnect with ourselves without even uttering a single word. And my guest today is someone who has mastered that art of movement and is now helping so many people here in Sri Lanka and also globally to connect with their mind and their body and their movement through movement with their soul. By now, I'm sure you have a hint of who our guest is today. It is Rangi Fernando. Hi, Rangi.
Hi.
Welcome on Power Moves. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me. And for that introduction. Wow.
Thank you so much. So, Rangi, let's dive into my first question to you. When I invited you on the show, I really wanted to ask about who Rangi Fernando was before all of this fame and success, before you became a dance movement therapist. When did you realize that you had, one, a passion for dance, and you decided to move following your motivation?
Before the fame and success, I don't know whether I have fame and success, but...
Trust me, there is. I'm sure a lot of people will acknowledge that as well.
But in terms of passion, I don't think I ever had a life without it.
I see.
So dance goes as far as I remember.
Quite young
I
age.
have memories of life. So the passion, it's not really a passion. It's like breathing. It just happens. But in terms of taking it on more seriously, it happened a little later on in life. But Rangi Fernando, before all of it and after all of it, I hope is the same. I was quite shy growing up. I was always in the shadows of my sister. And I still am quite a book nerd, I would say.
Right.
I like to read. I like to learn about things. I like exams.
I see. Contrary to popular belief.
But yeah, I'm still that same person. So which is why I have the academic side to me also.
Right.
So just the moving and the creative expression is not enough for me. I need to research. I need to keep the other side going as well. So
I see.
I'm pretty much the same shy girl. It's just that now I've kind of feel like I've come to be more comfortable in my skin rather than how I should be. I'm more me, apologetically. So
Great.
yeah.
So, Rangi, dance goes a long way in your life, and you said that it started at a very young age. But when did you realize that it was your mode of putting out all the pressure to unwind and eventually to even connecting with your inner self?
Yeah. So I've been dancing since I was about 6, but I followed the usual checklist of success.
Yeah.
The formula where you do your O levels, you do your A levels, then you go to university, you study accounting and finance. So I have a degree in accounting and finance.
Right.
That's what I studied. Then you come back to Sri Lanka and then you get a corporate job at a big company. Then you're doing well, and to be like, do it early on in life, really quickly. By
That's
21.
a standard roadmap.
Yeah. By 21, you get the job, So I did that, and I was at a corporate for 10 years. I don't mind saying the name. I was at MAS Holdings for 10 years. And during that time, I got to travel because of my job. I was in marketing and branding. And I took the liberty to explore movement. I didn't call it movement at that time. I called it dance. But I was very curious about it because I felt very restricted in terms of what was offered to me as dance. I'm saying it like that now, but at that time I didn't know it like that.
Yeah.
Because I had to smile, I had to perform, I had to keep my hand a certain way and have a certain emotion, even if I didn't actually feel like that. So I didn't know why I had to do that. So I was very curious. I'm a very curious person. So in New York, I met this teacher who told me, Rangi, all you have to do is give yourself permission to move the way that you want to move.
Right.
And that changed my life, actually. That particular
Quote.
And that moment changed my life. Ever since then, I just spent more time in the studio. I would go alone to the studio. I would just dance. Like taking off all the boundaries of what it should be, the categories of it should be this, it should be that, it should look like this, I should do these steps. I slowly took off all that, and that was when that shift happened. Because then I realized, I am actually going here to express something. I'm going here when I'm feeling something, and I am actually able to feel that in the movement rather than feeling sad and then smiling while moving. I was able to feel sad and actually be sad in my movement.
To project it through that.
Yeah, and it was okay to do that.
Yeah.
So, that was when that shift happened.
Great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your corporate job and when you made that shift to decide that you're finally going to pursue your passion. That's a big step for a lot of people, especially in the entertainment arena in Sri Lanka, in the industry. It's very challenging because there are so many talented figures when it comes to dance, to music. In the entertainment scape as a whole, there is a lot of talent. So when did you decide that you're going to make that leap from corporate into being a full-time dancer and a movement of therapist, per se?
I decided, so it took me about 3 years to actually leave. And when I left also, it like you said, it was a very, very hard decision, but also a very obvious decision. It took me 3 years of convincing myself, not so much convincing myself, making myself feel okay about it.
Right.
Because I was so used to that stability, that structure, and also the workplace gave me a lot of fuel to follow the passion.
Right.
A lot of it was like a safety net. And but my movement side was growing so much at one point, actually in 2021.
Right.
Because I was doing a lot more. Manike Mange Hita was also released at the same time. My video Pratihari was also going viral at the same time. And I was teaching, and it was growing a lot. And I felt this level of life in that, where, it just aligns. And it comes so naturally to you that you're not trying hard. You're not pretending. You're just being yourself, and it's working. And it's also impacting people's lives. And I wanted to dive more into that.
Right.
And it came to a point where I had to choose, because time is not a luxury that we all have. So we have to pick and choose where we spend our time. So yeah, it came, and I also spoke to a lot of mentors of mine at work who were also seeing the growth that I was having, and they all supported me. So I left the job saying I will be back in 2 years.
Right.
I left saying,
That panned out well.
I left saying, it's just 2 years, Rangi. You just go, you do what you have to do, and then you come back. And that helped me to ease out the shift. But yeah, I did go back.
So all of us have a support system around us, from our parents to our friends to our mentors at work and in life. What was the initial impression of that support system when you announced your decision to leave a corporate job, to leave all of that stability and venture out on your own, to do your own thing? How was that like?
It's funny because something came to my mind, and I was thinking, if my mom's watching this, she's not going to be very happy about it. But
I'm sure she'll forgive you.
But so my father is a musician.
I see.
So even though my family is very artistic, and none of them actually follow a regular 9-to-5 job, I was the only person. They were all a bit nervous about it, but I think that comes from a place of love, a place of wanting me to be okay. They were worried about
Wanting
it.
to see you succeed eventually.
And also, I guess it's what they know. They can support me in what they know. They saw me doing fine at work, and they saw me dancing at the same time, so they didn't understand why I needed to make that shift. So I will say this, I'm very sorry, my mother will be annoyed, but she said, bandala hitiyot kamanne. So, and what she meant by that was that the safety net. So also I know, because my dad is a musician, so he's also more aware of the difficulties that come along with that. Because when you have to have your art, have your creative expression, and also make money through it, that's a lot of pressure. And also it comes with a lot of emotion. You're hurt more, you're happy, like the level of emotions you feel is a bit more heightened. So
And
the
there's
lows are low, the highs are high.
Of course. And there's a greater pressure on you to constantly be creative,
Correct.
to put out creative work, right?
So it's like you no longer have the liberty of doing it for the sake of doing
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Now it's your lifestyle.
It's your lifestyle, and it's where you earn your bread and butter. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so even after leaving your corporate life, you were at somewhat of a crossroads between becoming a commercial dancer and being a movement therapist, leaning towards therapy. What made you decide that you will choose the path of therapy instead of being a commercial dancer? Because that seems like the more viable aspect and seems like the most secure path you could take. But therapy was relatively new when you introduced it to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Why did you make that decision?
More viable way, and also the more natural way. And I think it's a decision that I constantly have to make.
Right.
It's like life presents me crossroads almost every day, where I have to take a step back and decide, okay, is this a project that's aligning with what I want, or is this something that the society is presenting to me?
Right.
So in 2021, because I do these videos, I still do the YouTube videos. When it's growing a lot, you tend to get dragged onto that world.
Right.
And of course, I love being in front of the camera. I love performing. I love being on stage. To date, I do.
It's very obsessive.
Yeah, and that's where I get my magic to be able to pour into therapy.
Right.
But it's a crossroad that presents to me every day, and for me, the therapy end actually is where the my core is, my heart and soul. When I see me giving, sometimes maybe I give 5% of my knowledge to somebody,
Right.
and that person's life changes. And who am I to say no to that? And if I am able to do that, and it comes naturally to me, and I feel way more aligned there, I say yes to that.
Right.
So, it's not an easy decision, because I still like the other side of it. So it's like you have to pick and choose what you have time for. So, yeah.
Awesome. So ever since you made that decision, you have by now created a movement of your own, which is called Sync and Move. Very quickly, let's talk about Sync and Move, how it was conceptualized, how you envisioned it to be, and if you ever thought that it would grow to the scale that it is today.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people are asking me for this philosophy behind Think and Move, but it's something I woke up one day and decided, you know what, I want to share this knowledge I have with people because I used to travel and this curious body of mine wants to learn about it. So I used to get this certification, that certification. I become a yoga instructor, I become a meditation coach, I study somatic movement. Now I've gathered all this knowledge and it's impacting my life. And then I decided, okay, you know what, it can't be just me. It can't be just me who's going to be impacted by this. Yeah. I can at least touch one more life. I will try. Who knows? It might help someone else. So then I saw connection and movement, blah, blah, blah. I woke up one day, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to call my class Think and Move. And I'm just going to do it. No, I didn't think it's going to grow to this extent. So it's been really amazing. But now I'm conceptualizing it more of as a method.
Right.
A method that's the archive of my movement experiences.
Right.
So it has flavors of everything, and I've structured it out to be a method.
It's an integration of various disciplines.
Correct.
Right.
And it supports somebody in their confidence, in their self-esteem, and also to be empowered.
Great. So let's dive into dance movement therapy. When did you feel that you need to formally pursue dance movement therapy? Because you were in Germany, you were studying that discipline, and you pursued it academically. How did it help you grow your understanding of DMT? And what was it like introducing it here to Sri Lanka after coming back?
I think I'm still in the process of introducing it, like very start of the process.
Right.
But why I went was that after I quit my job and I dove into Think and Move and hosting movement sessions for people, I noticed that it was not their movement capability that was changing. I was impacting lives. And I was doing this very intuitively. It was coming naturally to me, but I didn't know why, what's the theory behind it? Why is it that sometimes when I make a circle that it works? Why is it that people are naturally making circles? So I needed to know a little bit more. And also the extent to which, so there were people who had suicidal thoughts coming to me, people who were severely depressed, people who were diagnosed with certain mental health illnesses.
Conditions, yeah.
So I knew that I needed to be geared a little bit more in order to help these people because I wanted to know how do I help somebody who has this illness.
Particular condition.
Correct. So in order to do that, I needed to study more. And what that gave me actually was more of an awareness about me. Being there actually made me dive more and more into who I am. Because in order for you to hold space for other people, you have to be very much aware of yourself. So,
True.
Yeah.
Great. So, in the process of introducing DMT to Sri Lanka, we know Sri Lanka has a very rich culture in its language, in its music, and movement traditions, and also in its opinions and ideas. How have you adapted your culture of DMT to fit into Sri Lanka's culture and localize it in a way where a potential client of yours or a potential mentee of yours will also be able to resonate with what you have to offer them?
Yeah. So actually, that was my topic of research while I was there. How do I bring in this Western philosophy or concept, movement therapy, into the cultural context of Sri Lanka? And how do I integrate that? Because it's not a one-size-fits-all sort of approach.
Exactly.
So it's not so much that I have to integrate it to the culture. I also have to adapt it to the person.
The personality of the individual.
Correct. So if I am doing the sessions in Sri Lanka, that means the personality of the individual is heavily influenced by the culture of the country. So which means then as a therapist, I need to meet that person halfway, which means I need to bring this in, put it through this little cycle, and then put it to the person. So when I do sessions in Sri Lanka, the therapeutic relationship is actually somewhat built because people already feel like they know me when they enter the space, which is actually good for me. So they are more comfortable to share their truth with me. Versus when I do a session in Germany, it's very different. It's very different because they don't know me as Rangi.
Yeah.
So they come to me as a therapist. So, and also when I do sessions in Sri Lanka, I have to also bring in certain concepts such as touch.
Right.
So touch is a very powerful tool that movement therapists use in order to intervene towards a patient or a client. But in Sri Lanka, when I bring in touch, there's a lot of taboo around this topic of touch, and it can be seen in a certain lens. So I also have to be aware of that. And also when I bring it in, I have to prepare the session, and also I have to read the room to see whether they're able to take it in.
Yeah.
And my words have to be a certain way. So in order to do that, I have to be very aware of the culture. So luckily, because I'm from here, I am able to do that. But the moment I am taken away from Colombo, that's where my challenge is
Really
also.
starts.
Correct. So, and taken away from Colombo and also taken to certain marginalized populations, let's say, like if they are victims of abuse. Then when I bring in a topic of touch, I sometimes can't even bring in a topic of touch. And in terms of my words, sometimes people are afraid to close their eyes. Because when you close your eyes, you're surrendering. You're insecure because you have to also trust the space. So if someone has gone through certain traumatic experiences, they're not able to close their eyes. And neither are they able to go to the flow. Because you feel, again, quite powerless when you're on the flow. So as a therapist, you're kind of trained to handle these things. Yeah.
I see. So that was one of the challenges you mentioned, but I'm sure there have been a myriad of challenges that you faced when you were bringing awareness and acceptance for DMT here in Sri Lanka, both in the mental health field and more broadly in potential clients. Were there any other challenges that you can recall that you came across something similar to what you explained about touch?
That, and also in terms of dance movement therapy, having the word dance at the beginning. So people only hear the first
and
word.
they think, okay, this is another dancing class.
Correct. People think it's a dance class, and people think you have to come and dance, that I'm going to teach a dance and a choreography, which is not the case. So sometimes actually I leave out the word dance, especially in Sri Lanka, I call it movement therapy.
Right.
Because then that leaves the person a little bit more open to it. But that's still one of the challenges. Because I'm also the first person to follow this path, that means I can't just say, oh, it's a dance movement therapy session. I have to go through the process of educating people in terms of what this is and why it's happening, what's the benefit of it. So sometimes for me that becomes quite challenging. And also it's not regulated in our country yet.
I see.
Creative arts therapy as a whole, so that includes dance therapy, art therapy, drama therapy. It's not regulated.
It's mostly a niche.
It's a niche, and people also don't know much about it. And also from the clinical fields or the typical medical association and so on, we are not included in that sense. So I think it's up to us to bring it to that certain place and also form a creative arts therapy association, maybe.
Provide a platform.
Yeah, and also make people aware that this is a field that's governed, that you need a qualification to enter, and there's a minimum amount of qualification that you need in order to call it therapy. Because a lot of people call their sessions movement therapy, art therapy, but there's a certain amount of responsibility that comes along with calling it therapy.
Therapy, yes.
Yes, it can be therapeutic. Something can feel therapeutic, but it's not therapy. Yeah.
Great. So you have also been able to fuse DMT with the area of women empowerment, female empowerment, that has a big push in Sri Lanka and also the world nowadays. Could you share more about how you incorporated the two and what sort of resistance or acceptance you're getting from here in Sri Lanka about it?
Actually, the reason why I ended up in Germany also has a lot to do with the curiosity as to why only women were coming for my sessions.
Right, okay.
It's not
because it's open for all.
It's open for all. Now, not so much.
I see.
At that time, it was open for all.
Right.
And I was very curious, well, why is it only women? Like, why are the men not coming?
Not participating. Yeah.
And then that it ended up that people thought it was only for women. So, and when I went to Germany and I studied all of it, I also studied why it was just women. So when I explored the culture of Sri Lanka and how to bring it in, I had this topic of women empowerment in that. It has a lot to do with the culture. It has a lot to do with the role of a woman. And also, dance, any form of creative expression, has more of a feminine energy attached to it.
Right.
So naturally, women are more inclined to it. And also in Sri Lanka, it's more accepted for women to be moving.
Yeah.
And bringing that into Sri Lanka also, women found it more safe to come into a movement therapy session and to feel their feelings rather than have to talk about their feelings. Right?
Okay.
And
Without having to confront them through words.
correct. And also women, not women actually, people in general of Sri Lanka find it difficult to speak about how they feel.
Yeah, because they compartmentalize it.
They compartmentalize it and they don't know. They don't know that they're feeling a certain way, but they are feeling a certain way. They don't know how to put it into words. But dance movement therapy gives a blank canvas. That's away from the taboos of talk therapy sometimes.
Okay.
Because Sri Lanka also still has some kind of a taboo around talk therapy. Why are you going to therapy? That question is still there. But with this element of dance allows people to find a nice balance in it. Yes, I'm going to dance, but it's actually therapy.
Yeah.
So, and also in Sri Lanka, Jamal, I have to mention that women, in terms of their bodies, in terms of spaces for women to be able to speak about certain things that they're going through, it could be that they've had a miscarriage. It could be that they even have had an abortion. And it could be that they've lost a parent and they're grieving. They might be grieving they have a lot of grief. And in spaces where they cannot express that grief.
Right.
And it's taboo to express that grief.
Yeah.
So it's naturally inclined that women end up also supporting women in these spaces. So that also happens quite beautifully, and there's less of me in it actually. It's just me having to hold
more of the
space.
participants.
It's more of the group. Yeah.
So it has become a sort of safe haven for them.
Yeah.
Right, great. So Rangi, what is next for you? What does the future hold for you? Do you plan on holding another event or a concert? Give us a hint.
What's next for me? So there's two. In the dance woman therapy side, I want to actually, like I spoke about it, I want to form this movement therapy association or creative arts therapy association. I want to
give it more legitimacy.
Correct. I want to standardize it.
Great.
And I want to take movement therapy to more marginalized communities, to spaces where it's actually required. So, which I have started slowly. So I'm building that up. And at the end of Rangi, the dancer, I am working more on my creative expression, my performance capabilities, because I want to do a solo performance next year.
I see.
So,
you heard it from here, apparently.
Yeah. So I am very excited about that.
Yes.
So so I have also realized that the perform end of it is what fuels the therapy end. So I need to keep both.
There needs
going.
to be a perfect balance.
Yeah.
Very quickly, what is that one quote or mantra or philosophy that always helps you wake up in the morning feeling motivated to push yourself to be better and to do better for others? Is there any such philosophy you follow?
I don't think I have one philosophy, but I'm someone who reads a lot. So, and I also journal.
Right.
So in my journal I write down different types of quotes that I read in books. So I don't know where it's from or whatnot when I read it. So whenever I feel like I'm not motivated, I go and read these quotes that I've written down. So there are a few things that help me. So one is, what's the story I want to have when I look back in this phase of my life? That helps me a lot when I'm feeling like I'm not motivated to do something or I'm afraid. And leaning into the fear with curiosity is another thing that helps me. Whenever I'm afraid to take a step, I lean into it because I'm afraid because it's pushing some boundary.
Yeah.
And life expands and shrinks based on a person's courage. So that also helps me. And so different things like that, and also do it with passion or not do it at all. That helps me too.
Great. I think that's the perfect end to Power Moves episode 8. This was deeply conversational, and we reached a lot of in-depth conversations about dance movement therapy, how Rangi discovered herself, and now she is empowering the next generation of women, and not just women, the next generation of movement therapists to do better, to be better, to sync with themselves, and to be better and more healthier human beings altogether. Rangi, thank you very much for joining me on Power Moves.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to see you one day on Power Moves yet again with more fame and more success, and we wish you all the best with DMT as well.
Thank you so much.
And that's it on Power Moves today. We will catch you on another episode. Till then, take care and stay safe.